We're here. It's episode 2, Modular Mondays. Today we work on Modular Mondays episode 2, the session. Yeah. And we have to address, I'm getting Marco from the bridge who says, looks like it's super heavy on the CPU. It is super heavy on the CPU, okay? So here's what I've done. Let me ditch modular, it's inactive. Modular 01 is what we did in episode 1. I created that surface outpost factory, sector 41C. It's kind of a nice, noisy environment, things like that. But I worked on something that is modular 02. Let me show you, okay? 02. And this is, I'm gonna make myself as usual a little bit smaller. This is the patch that I was working on. Okay. So yes, it's heavy, but it isn't that insane. But Softube Modular doesn't mess around. Okay. So we need to get to the reactor room and we need to kind of unplug and swap cables around live while the spaceship's going. Okay, so what we've been hearing is, well, there's some clicking involved that I can hear. The whole patch, see how it's fading around in the distance. You got the panning right, everything's right. It's just that the CPU is completely maxed out because of one instance. So the way I would like to handle these for the album would be this. I would like to have 2 control surfaces, or 1, but I think 2. I hope they're gonna be Novation. That whose knobs I'm gonna use to control things in modular patches. But we need to split things around because there is no way we can handle one patch for one track. There's no way, because in my opinion, there's no option so far to tell Softube Modular to use more cores for one instance. They want to do single core per instance. So I have most of the cores empty and I have one core maxing out because it's just one busy instance in its opinion. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to split this patch so that we at least have that base that goes on that I would like to save, to, kind of like extract. And then we're going to work on the Buchlas. And then all in all, what eventually I'll do is that because I have 2 control surfaces, it doesn't really matter how many instances of Softube Modular we have, but I want to design usually tracks with 4 instances of modular. Drums, bass, and 2 sort of like harmonies or melodies or weird stuff, things like that. Does it make sense to you, crew? Because I think I would work, right? We don't need to use all of them, but that'd be nice. And the 2 control surfaces with their knobs and faders will control, for example, the volumes of the drums, the filters on the kicks, the global low pass on the whole drums or bass and resonance. We're gonna have tons of knobs that I know, whose functions I'll know that I'll tweak around. And I'm thinking this is how we'll build the album, and it will be 100% live, even if they're split into different sections, like instances. I can print stems, and having stems being print, I could do these with the extra outputs, but having stems being print will allow me to get the tracks, the stems, to other things. I want to import those tracks in the Amiga, and I want to import those tracks into an Oral 3D card that I have for a 486, and we're gonna make weird formats out of that. The Amiga itself alone is going to sample this stuff, and I have no idea what will come out of this. So you should subscribe, you should like, you should turn the bell on, whatever that bell is, notifications, everything. Like, you should be waking up in the middle of the night by virtual me that goes like, yo, dude, I have an idea. And I'm like, just shut up. Something like that. It needs to be that level of insanity, because this spaceship will probably, test our nerves for sure. So, again, while Mark is at the bridge and we're going, we, the crew, whoever's here, defrosting, feeling dizzy from cryostasis and stuff, we need to split these organisms in two. So we gotta get to the biolabs right now. I'm gonna actually disable these and duplicate it. Okay, and we call these Elementor. No, yes, Elementor. And I said 4. I think 4. Do you see why I think 4? Because of the old 4-track stuff. The thing just came up on its own. Modular life, people. This is insane. All right, so we gotta split this. Let's split this. I'm gonna teach you how to split this and keep the whole thing alive. It's gonna be weird. The monument is the source of our base, and I'm thinking it gets triggered, gate and node by the pentasequenza, and then it's going out to these places here, to the DVCAs, to the dual VCAs, and then it's also getting split here in the audio mix, and it's also going here. So I know for sure that I don't need the Kergasmatron. I'm thinking, right? I don't. No, I do. See? No. Do I? No. Because you can erase modules, but if you do it, it's bad if things don't work. So the sequencer 16 is going here. The monument filter, why are we not using the monument? Where's the monument going to? Oh no, that's a dual gain, sorry. Okay, so this goes to here. Okay, the input is the output here. Okay, so we need the monument filter as well. We're gonna keep the audio mix. The top part I'm not gonna change or touch because these two don't matter. I'm thinking what we can destroy is the Buchla. There's undos. Why am I bothering so much? You see those two things there? These are undos and redos. So we go move, delete, ciao. And everything related to it has died, but it's okay. And I'm thinking the pentasequence as well, the sequencer 16 cannot. Let me see if I can get things in view a little bit. Let me move this guy up here. So it goes offset here, and it's not going out to anything. Okay, the gates are going here. The output is this CV in. The input of the VCA is this. Okay, I think we do actually need this. We haven't cut a lot of fat out. Okay, let's play this track and hear what is happening. Okay, so this is working. I love how this is telling me which effects are kind of problematic. No, the Asioguard. I mean, everything's working. It's kind of a scary light, but so we got that. I'm thinking the sequencer can also go. Trigger out goes here. The trigger goes here. The output of these goes to the CV in, which is true that it's getting the mix. And the output is going there. So if we close everything here, the sequencer cannot go. But the rhythm can. There's no outputs. Okay, this guy can go. All right, we did one more step. It hasn't lowered itself. I mean, a little bit. Is Monument so part? What is the source of all evil here? So Monuments first, for sure. Then we've got our Kurgasmatron, and we've got the source monument and the filter monument. Will go here. Then we have our dual gain. Actually, I'm gonna keep the dual gain here, the pentasequenza here, the offset here, and the sequencer 16 here. That's pretty good. Okay. So how about that? So this one's not doing anything, which is the input 1, which is the output of this VCA, whose input is the mix of the Kurgasmatron, but it's got no inputs. Awesome. So the Kurgasmatron can go. Okay. Then these can go here, the offset can go here, the pentasequenza can go here, and the dual gain can go here. Alright. The normal Monumental plugin is very okay. The Monument plugin is CPU heavy, says Marco from the bridge. Is it? Because I haven't used Monument outside of this environment. So it seems simple. It's two sources being blended. There's some analog dirt, okay, that could be an effect, and then there's a filter. It doesn't look as scary, right? But it could be. In modular, I think that the sequencers and the offsets, not the offsets, but the pentasequence and the sequencer 16 could be pretty heavy. But that's where we are. Okay, so how about we try and mix this? So that's the in of this guy. We no longer have an input. We can clean this guy out. And then we've got these outputs, which is these, okay. This is going here. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the output of this guy, which is going straight in here, see? And we're gonna move it to the right here. Because this is our right channel, audio mix, and this is our left channel. The left audio mix is gonna be left, and the right audio mix is gonna be right. So this instead, the left channel of, that's the input. This is not a stereo thing. It's going here. So let's do this so that we have both, and we can do a mono signal here, or shift it if we want. So now Monument filter is going straight out, but then we've got a secondary thing, which is the Monument source. Okay, so we're gonna do it like this. The filter is gonna be 2, and the 1 is gonna be the unfiltered. All right, so this is right. Okay, and we don't need to duplicate that. We're sending this guy out here. Okay, so what if we play this? It plays. That's good. What about the second layer, which is the filtered one? See, this is no longer just bass, but it's good. So I think I had some other outputs though. These are dual gains that are going out to limit the leeway of this guy here. Well, no, the other one was the actual Buchla. So this is pretty much done. But where do the gates out go here? Trigger out and go here. The output of this is regulating this, but this one's actually not doing anything. So we could destroy this, and take the sequencer 16 out as well, because the CV is the only thing that's going to the offset, which is not doing anything. So these two are not necessary. That's our sequence here. Boom, which would allow me to bring these back, because I kind of hate to have them all the way there. Boom. Should sound exactly the same. The clicks I hear, I'm thinking it could be more of the envelopes being kind of fast or the releases being 0. I don't think this is really, there's no dropout reported, so there's no way that we're crashing it. And I'm keeping a loop of 64 bars so that I have some kind of clock to send it without having this. Okay, so the MIDI to trigger isn't done. Okay, so this is good. Let me save this before we make any issue. I'm gonna call this monument. Actually, okay. Probably the nomenclature should be episode 2 with the 0. Monument 01, whatever. V1, Monumentor V1, or Monumentor A. Man, I now want a different name. Monumentor A. Rename. So we do Modular Mondays episode 2, Monumentor 8. So this is a Monumentor. It's just gonna tell me that it's probably bass. We can give it a category, I think, something like that. So this is good. And we dropped a little bit. Okay. I'm thinking this is fine. It sounds bad to say it that way, but it actually kind of is. So let me drop this, and this is, we say Monumentor A, okay? And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna instantiate another modular. It's gonna be gonna go to all mix. No, to mix, sorry. There's no all mix. Mix A, and we call it modular 03. Okay. If we work on this modular instance, it will actually not freak out as much because the other core is gonna work, and I don't think Cubase is gonna actually, Nuendo is actually gonna give us a very hard time, at least. So we have our startup. I have pretty much everything there. I'm thinking I want to do this. If we keep things in two rows, we should be safe. If we start venturing to row 3, I'm thinking there will be no way the computer can handle that. So this is going to be left channel, this is going to be right channel. This is all the LFOs, ADSRs, VCAs, noise, ring modulator. The top row is going to stay. What I want to venture in is, let me deal, I said Buchla, but do we want to do that? Yeah, we should do that for sure. We should do this. I would like to do something textury with the 259E twisted waveform and the Spectral processor. It's gonna be tough. Let's do it. Okay. And it's gonna be tough, I'm telling you. Let's try things out first. I don't know if you know how these work. I certainly don't. So, do we want to put some wood panel in here? It's gonna make us feel better. I would like to not use filters the conventional way. So let's see where we end up with. I think we also need some kind of sequencer. So I am going to this is another kind of discussion for some other time. I don't want to play stuff. I already said that, right? So let me do 8. And let me open some gate here and here and here and here. Or maybe not, just on one, because we're gonna probably go for longer notes. So we're gonna clock it, and I'm gonna clock it in quarter notes. Maybe not. Then I'm going to reset here, and I'm going to gate out and trigger out. At first, you know what I want to do? I just want to send stuff around. Let's try and do this. So we got the outputs. There's mod outputs and there's principal outputs. If we do this, how come this is not working? Impossible. Where is this going? Hold on. Copy, paste. I want to paste the effects. There is no way this guy isn't working. Okay, do I need to send it out? No. Okay, that's our effect. That's all good. There is absolutely no way. So by default, these don't play. They need CV in. I cannot believe this to be true. No way. I'm sure this is the output. We're gonna do left and right. There's no way. No, I hear something. I do hear me something. Okay. That's good. That's sounding pretty good. Okay, so I can hear it click. So now I wanna try and understand if it's this. Okay, let me disable the monumental. Monumental. I like all those names, but they're not the right one. Let me try that again. Here. Okay. Let me get rid of this. Okay. What if we take one oscillator, which we don't have, from here? And we go like this, because the CPU isn't... Is it maxing out? It is maxing out. Okay, let's try something else. Let's try the VCOs here. And let's try and do just this. This isn't clicking. So it's the Buchla doing whatever morphing or modulation's doing. Okay, we're good. Okay, so let me load the shimmer again, the black hole, and let me patch these again in. Okay. This sounds beautiful. This is like a sort of like a binary star kind of thing. Let's put this simple as that into this modulator. You hear what it's doing? It's morphing that, right? It's the principal oscillator morph CV. And that's the warp. Now let's try what the warp does. I'm gonna move it to 0 so we have no modulation, but we're set, right, crew? So the control set, the LFO is set to control the morphing knob, is if I were doing this manually very slowly, but our CV offset, like the window, how do we call that? I'm calling it the window. The intensity on Korgs, that's intensity, is set to 0, so it's not gonna modulate. And this way we can kind of get a vibe for what it does. Now I'm gonna try warp. It's not really warping a lot, but let me try that. Hold on. Okay. So I still hear it kind of glitch, right? Let me try and erase the module. Let's see if that's a CPU thing. No, no, no. I'm thinking that's the actual... I'm undoing. It works. Okay. It's such a beautiful sound. I could stay here hours. In fact, we're gonna do that. So we're pitching. The mod type is pitching. We don't want to pitch it. Let's try and see morphing through modulation. But for now, I like the warp. Let me try and work with the timbre. So that's a principal oscillator. What is this? 2? That's 1. Okay. 1, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4. Okay. So we had 1, 2. Remember that. Otherwise we forget. Here, how nice this thing is. Buchla doesn't want to go for simple, huh? For sure. So, okay. That is absolutely without morphing and without warping. I really like these though. I think this has an amazing vibe. So we should go with this. It's a 236.9. Doesn't matter. Let me try that. That is the MEMS Q. This is the principal FM. Okay. Let's try and FM these with a sine into this. See where we go here. I'm loving this. So now the VCO's sine wave from the Doepfer 110 Doepfer is going into the FM of the principal oscillator. Okay, now I love this and I want to have it move a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna mute the volume so it's faster. I can talk and just patch. You know what I want to do, however? I want to kind of have a CV mixer. Here's what we're gonna do. I hope it does what I think it will do. Let me move these down here. These up here. I already told you once we get to the 3, to the 3rd slot, things are bad. Are good, but also bad. So let me try this guy here with the CV mix. So I want to mix this LFO to the noise. I want to kind of make it the sine wave irregular. This is one of the simplest ways because then we're going to feed the result of this CV mix to what we had, to the morph modulation. So I'm going to take random output and I'm going to put it to 2. And let me just see, let's hear what just the noise would do. Okay, so it's doing what I want. It's just that we're very subtle, but this is good. This is good. So the rate's gonna be slower and the level's gonna be, I don't know, maybe here. But then we also send this guy to 1.0. That's what we like. We're just gonna use this secondary to kind of make things a little bit more unpredictable, non-linear somehow, because that's a sine wave otherwise. Okay, here. Okay, now I'm gonna try and get something out as well. And then I'll tell you what, if it works, you'll see that. Let's do it here as well. Okay, these I don't quite like. So let me do something else. Let me send it somewhere else. Okay, and I'm loving these. But now I want to get into maybe the morphing as well. Let me see how the controls work. I'm exploring these with you. Like the 259's got so much, but I don't want to play it. So we have to kind of come up with some stuff first, and then you can play the notes. Man, this has so much vibe. I like this. Now, if we take the outputs of this and we send it to the Spectral, we don't even need these sequencers to do anything yet. Let me just try before we start having it move and do things. Let me see how the Spectral plays a role here. So as far as I remember, it's got A levels and B levels. That's good. Okay. So I can design something like this for B levels, something like this. But for now, let's stay on A levels. And let me just take the outputs of these and send it into the inputs of this guy. And then we take, actually, yes. And then we do this for now. Okay. So the other input is going to go here. And the output, so now we're using this as a filter. I would love to use this as a filter. And I'm going to do the odd. I'm actually going to do the all on both, just so that we kind of keep not odd even. But the signals we're going to do this way. I have no idea how this is going to sound. Should actually play already, yes. And this is what I would like to design. I would like to just have one setup where we have this interesting kind of scenario generator. It's kind of the atmospheric part. And that's going to be the Buchlas in tandem like this. Pretty simple so far. We can take so many things out, but let's try that. I mean, come on. These I'd love to buy and have real. These two, the Spectral processor, this guy here, it's just unbelievable. So let's stay on one for now because this is just getting completely spacing out. I like where this is going. I want to try and not modulate things at first. I just want to try and modulate some of the steps actually. Let's see if this works now with two instances. You see how just by handling these two instances, number one, they're not clicking, they're not completely destroying the computer, and you would have never run both of them together. But also we've got bass and we've got atmospherics now. Okay, so this is good, and this would be how I would like to kind of handle things. They can get a little bit more complicated, but for example, this is a monument source plus filter plus the pentasequenza. It's kind of nice. Maybe I don't need always 5 steps. I could go 4. I could get the 16 in there, but it's kind of a good system, and I can concentrate on the other one, on the other instance, and the first one doesn't really break things around. That's really good. So I'm gonna keep spacing out. You just watch out of the windows for deep space reconnaissance. Beautiful that I can use that VCO to kind of decide on the skew, on the FM values and stuff that we are getting into. That's our modulator, right? The VCO that goes into the principal VC, the oscillator of the Buchla, and we can just use the range to get completely different vibes. And again, I'm not playing it. I must not play stuff for now. Because if I keep using my hands on the keyboard, then we come up with all sorts of, oh, this is nice, this is insane, this is good. Because because I'm amazing, obviously, but also for other reasons. But I just want to hear the texture of where this is going. So again, I'm gonna space out. Ciao. This is so beautiful. Let's go at it again. What I wanted to do was I wanted to kind of slowly modulate the low. I forgot what I wanted to do. But okay, I get it. So I'm back. Okay, now we get the base scene just for reference, just to see if the two things are crashing each other. Okay, so we got it. Like, we got into a sector where we really have to keep watching for the asteroid. There's something super weird in the space-time continuum of where we dropped in. But man, this is, I'm giving you the title for this. Hold on, I'm not giving you the title yet. I do have it though. This is so, I am not gonna say it yet, okay? But I have chills from what the Buchlas do. I am getting real ones. There's just, can I do it? Can I do it? I mean, these two are one thing. So we ventured there. See how beautiful that is, that we can actually use, again, I said it, I'm gonna say it again. We can use the range of that oscillator to really decide whether we want to get into kind of a swampy thing or more into kind of a higher pad. And I'm using a VCA with an envelope, but it's just like floating because of the Spectral processor, which is what I really like, and it's not a subtractive synthesis patch by all means. So I'm gonna keep going just a little bit more. I have no idea what's going on. This is amazing. What? Like, it completely awoke. Hi Marco, take care. I'm gonna finalize this, and I'm just gonna wrap it up. Absolutely. So you can get into cryostasis again. Almost done. I wanna reset this. Let me just check where we were. Here, the book list A. And then I kind of have the Buchla sound that I wanted to get in a package of things that work. But just a second, so I'll fix that. This is unbelievable. I love this, but it's not exactly what I wanted to do. Revert changes. What if we were to use an envelope right for the source before getting the signals in? So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna go like 8 notes on it. Or maybe I'll go gate out here, and then I'll take that gate. I'm gonna go trigger out to kind of re-trigger it and use the output of these for actually those two. I'm thinking, no, sorry, for this VCA and this thing, we're gonna take the signals in are gonna go into the inputs, the outputs into the signals in. So that we should have some kind of envelope, obviously, which I'm curious to see how it's gonna react. We didn't have one, we can always bypass that, but it could work. No, hold on. I did a wrong move. Okay, here. This one. Is it this output? Yes. Okay, let me play this again. I think it opened a whole new level of thing just because it's so pulsating now. And if we get back to this one, then it's the same because we're not using the ADSR, we're just going the gain up, we're just gaining up. So that's I could save this as a variation like A2. Okay, I'm saving this for sure. A2. Alright, this is definitely a swampy planet that we landed on, and it's just an alien kind of swamp jungle environment. It has that. There's kind of a froggy sound from this patch that I absolutely love. They will be available on Patreon in the Modular Monday patches. I'm gonna give you the Monumentor A, the Booklist A1 and A2, and then there's gonna be audio demos to kind of showcase what they do. As usual, make sure you check my Patreon out, and if you want to support Modular Mondays with the record that it's gonna become, the versions for Mastodon / Amiga 1200 Retro and the 486 PCs, they're gonna be all messed up into this project. So if you want to know more about it, go on my Patreon. The links are down below. We're gonna see each other soon, which is next week. But remember, we have Thursday, in which we're doing the Thursday Mixdown. The Thursday Mixdown is where I take tracks and mix them. And this is just mixing. We're gonna have Drew again with probably a different song. I'm gonna kind of surprise you with a new thing, and we are going to find out obviously more about plugins and things like that, which we're also gonna face eventually in here. But I kind of like the template where it is. It's more about sounds. All right, so Thursday for the next live event, and for the rest, everything Modular Mondays is on my Patreon. Please take a look at it. It's gonna be a cool project. Join me for making these a Bandcamp album that then game developers can use in their video games, okay, for free, just because I would be happy to donate them. So just get in touch if you want. Take care. See you soon. Ciao.